Mini-sode.
That's when the money rolls in.
Mini-sode.
'Cause we are really tired.
When we can't talk for 2 straight hours, we just pick a topic and we do a mini-sode.
Down,
Mini-sode.
Up in smoke. Oh, wait.
Okay, whoa, you're gonna cost us $100.
Whoops. Hey. You know what won't cost you like $100 anymore? Smoking weed.
Okay, calm down there. Let's be adult about it. We don't want to prove everyone right.
I think we've done that since day one.
To be fair, yeah.
To be fair.
To be fair.
Wow, that was the earliest we've ever gotten a to be fair. And
yeah.
This is a mini-sode.
Yep. As covered by our impromptu theme song.
Yes.
Yep.
I am Brendan.
I'm Nathan.
And you're listening to What Were They Thinking?
Yes, you are.
So, Nathan, last week we talked about Evil Bong.
Oh, God.
May have engaged in some nefarious activities throughout. Not nefarious anymore, of course.
Nope. At least not for us, anyways. Our guest, on the other hand.
Yeah, hasn't reached that plateau yet.
Nope.
Oh, Canada. But going with that theme this week, we're going to be talking about weed movies or pot movies. You know, the joints, the marijuana, the Mary Jane, the
Okay. Again,
the ganja.
God damn it.
The cannabis.
Make us all look like jerks.
The green machine. Cocaine. Oh, wait, no.
That's a no.
Oh, okay. That's not legal yet?
No.
Guys, hashtag legalize it.
You know, there's a bit in on one of the radio stations in Grand Theft Auto 5 that has a whole thing about medical cocaine.
Yeah, so I want to take a stand right now and say that I'm not for the legalization of cocaine.
That's good.
I stand by that controversial opinion, and I will fight it to the death. But yeah, let's talk about weed movies.
Yes, let's.
So, maybe before we get to our listener comments, Nathan, what are some of your favorite weed movies?
Well, I'm gonna go Half Baked. It's fantastic. Dave Chappelle flick, got some great cameos in it. Jim Brewer's in it. Really kind of set the benchmark for me. It's one of the first ones that I ever watched on my own. I'd seen some Cheech and Chong movies in the 80s and stuff. My dad thought they were hilarious. And they are. But Half Baked was the first one that I watched kind of on my own. Homegrown, a lesser known one with Billy Bob Thornton in it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen it or not.
I have not, but I like the idea of Billy Bob Thornton in a movie, so that's why I said
in a weed movie, especially.
Yeah, because I'm assuming Billy Bob Thornton has never done that in his real life.
Oh, never, ever. Not a man that skinny with a beard like that. Never. Friday. If I could watch Half Baked and Friday back to back, that is a perfect 420 double bill.
Okay.
And then finally, of course, Up in Smoke, because it's kind of the granddaddy of them all.
Yeah.
That's where my money goes.
In my lungs.
Or sometimes up my nose.
You know what I never got?
What's that?
Why was that movie also like kind of about cocaine?
Well, it was really about drug culture. You can smoke cocaine too. I wouldn't recommend it, but
no,
you can.
But it was just weird. Like a weed movie had a lot more material about like cocaine and like lewds and stuff.
If you watch it though, the weed humor is kind of, it's played for laughs, and the coke humor is like the extreme.
True.
You know what I mean? So like of course the narcotics officers are the villains in the movie. But the yeah, I'm gonna stay away from you kind of people are the ones doing all the coke.
My mother told me always tell me how to live. Yeah.
That lady who snorted that line of Comet in the movie. Good lord.
Oh, and she's like,
Rest in peace. She passed away recently.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go, kids. Don't do Comet.
Good plan. Or, don't get old because that's what she died from.
Yeah, just stay where you are.
If you can figure it out, do it.
It's like Norm Macdonald says, like, I don't care about all these diseases. I just want to find out how to stop aging.
There you go.
So, I'm gonna have to take one from your list. I would definitely say Up in Smoke is certainly on my list. I don't know if it's the first. It may have been one of the first like weed movies I saw, and I didn't really understand what they were referencing.
Okay.
Like I mean, I got that they were smoking something, but I didn't really fully understand drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Like I was too young to kind of appreciate it, maybe.
Oh, see, that was the thing about growing up in the 80s. By about 85 or 86, when I was in kindergarten or grade 1, oh, sorry, no, that would have been like 84. Anyways, I had been fully indoctrinated into the Just Say No and Dare programs. So I knew all about the drugs, as the old folks like to call it. And so whenever I saw drug humor, I at least got the idea, okay, drugs alter your perception and make you kind of goofy.
Funny enough, though, I haven't seen any of the other Cheech and Chong movies. But what else would I say?
I've seen Things Are Tough All Over and the Corsican Brothers. I think those.
I've heard that all the other ones mostly are not very good.
They're just kind of
yeah.
It's just don't watch it for a movie. Watch it for a loosely collected gathering of sketches.
Well, that's what I take Up in Smoke for, but I feel like it's a really, it also has like a pretty decent plot for what it is.
It's got a narrative that ties it together, but for the most part, it's a bunch of sketches, which is, which was their style. I mean, if you listen to any of their albums from back in the day, it's all sketch comedy, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and I guess if I want to throw a few more on my list, this is going to be a weird one. I know a lot of people don't like this movie, but I have a weird guilty pleasure love for it, and it's sort of a newer movie-ish. It's like 2000. I'm going to say, Dude, Where's My Car?
Okay.
I think at the time when it came out, well, Sean William Scott was in it, right? So Stifler was a big deal still. It was early 2000s, late 90s. And so when I heard that
Stifler and Kelso movie.
Yeah, Stifler and Kelso. Yeah. I was like, hells yeah, I'm into this. Mm-hmm. And watching it back, it's it is pretty stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I don't know. I think it's kind of goofy and has some decent laughs in it. And I think it suffers from the fact that they wanted to make a PG-13 weed movie.
Yeah.
That was a little weird, but there's some good stuff. And I'm also going to go even more modern. I'm going to say Pineapple Express is pretty legendary.
That's a pretty fun movie.
Yeah, that's a great one. One more. Let's say... You know what? I know it's not technically a stoner movie because it was only PG and it was kind of directed at kids a little bit too, but I'm going to say the Bill and Ted movies are basically stoner movies.
Yeah, they're stoners without the weed.
Yeah, it's very much implied, you know what I mean?
Because they're really, whoa.
Yeah, and I get that they're trying to do, the California, the Californians kind of voice.
Surfer metalhead type stuff.
Take the one-on-one, get out of here!
Take it down to the...
Yeah, it's basically that, but yeah, that's what I would say. I would lump that in with weed movies. So... But however, what did our listeners think? First up here, from @AlwaysFunnyPod, it's the Always Funny in Philadelphia. It's Always Funny in Philadelphia podcast, which I'm assuming is about It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Or they could just be playing off the words.
Well, they had a lot of logos with the show and stuff, so I'm assuming it's about somewhat about the show, which is a great show. And if anyone out there has not seen it ever, watch it. It's
Aren't they in like season 13 or 14 or something?
Yep, and I haven't grown tired of it. It's great. Anytime Danny DeVito randomly has a gun on him, I laugh forever. And it's It's like one of the darkest shows on like a mainstream cable television.
Yeah.
But this anyway. So Always Funny Pod says Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, but I wouldn't consider it a weed movie specifically. Same with Enter the Void. I've never seen Enter the Void, and I don't fully remember Fear and Loathing, but there's a lot of other drugs in that too.
Yeah, that one's just kind of a drug culture movie.
Fear and Loathing doesn't make me want to do drugs. Let's just say
especially the drugs that they're doing. Whew.
How did that guy live for that long? Like Hunter S. Thompson or whatever? Mm-hmm. Oh, man. What else, Nathan?
Well,
what do we got?
Movie Geek. At Movie Geekcast, that's the So I Married a Movie Geek folks. They just listed Pineapple Express.
Yeah.
Solid pick.
I'm down. Pineapple Express. At Amanda's Pick Show, which is Amanda's Picture Show, a go-go. She says Dazed and Confused. Yeah, you know what? I should have thrown that in too.
No, it's a good one. Especially if you're a fan of stuff like That 70s Show. It's like That 70s Show was able to be done by HBO.
I was going to say That 70s Show, but more of like a lot smarter than that though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also like what was I going to say, did you happen to see by any chance Everybody Wants Some?
No.
Okay, that was really good. That was like the same director, and it's almost like a spiritual sequel, sort of.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's like the same kind of sprawling, like a bunch of characters just basically hanging out. Like there's not a whole lot of a plot from A to Z, but it's just all about like how these characters develop. It's really, really good.
Okay, I'll check that out.
Yeah, I recommend it. Like I said, just it's a very different kind of movie. Like it's not going to be like, oh, they have to win the big game or anything like that.
Right.
Yeah.
The I Want You to Watch This podcast at IWYTWT on Twitter if you'd like to follow them. Me reading this, cannibalism.
I think it's supposed to be me reading this as cannibalism. Sorry.
As cannibalism. The first time was actually extremely on brand with the actual content. Friday is definitely up there. Mainly because I've had every line with my name in it quoted at me since it came out, and I still love it. LOL.
I believe his name is Craig.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the cannibalism context was, but...
Yeah.
But okay. That's cool, man. You want to eat people, that's not my business.
I would say Cannibal Holocaust if I was to or Silence of the Lambs, since we're going to talk about our favorite.
I was going to say Silence of the Lambs is a much better cannibal movie than Cannibal Holocaust.
Yes, but I mean, come on, for what you want it for. Green Inferno also.
Yeah, that movie's fucked.
That is extremely fucked.
Yeah. Okay. So again, Friday comes up at EILF Movies. Our good friend Steve. Mm-hmm. He says Half Baked and How High. How High is, I believe, the movie where they smoke a ghost.
I've never seen that one.
Apparently they smoke someone's ashes, and it makes them really smart, and they go to Harvard.
Okay.
So, in other words, what I'm saying is coming soon.
We've got an anniversary every year in October now. So
That's right. Oh. Let's just make a kind of a little announcement right here. Since we kind of do horror whenever, whenever. We don't always just do it in October. Let's have it let's always do it like the first in October is a horror, and the second is like, it can be just a weed movie, and it doesn't have to be weed and horror.
Right.
Because that's as you can tell
I'm
from
not
last
doing
week,
the 7 Evil Bong sequels.
even though Stork on Twitter said he would do Evil Bong 3, I have him quoted and screenshotted, so that may have to come up.
Our good friend Ryan Gilbert, he says Dazed and Confused, as we've mentioned earlier. Great flick.
Again, yeah, it's a great movie. I feel like if you were the right age when that came out, it was probably even more effective for you.
Yes.
Like if you were right around the age of if you were in like 17, 18 when that movie came out, I feel like it was just like, yeah, this is my movie. You know what I mean? At Liz Blessett, that's Liz's personal account, but she is with the Nerdy Bitches podcast, which you can find on all the podcatchers. She says, not exactly a weed movie, but it totally is. Grandma's Boy, ridiculous and awesome. I fucking
Totally
love Grandma's
is.
Boy.
Yeah.
Grandma's Boy is super funny, and the best part about that movie is I expected it to be dog shit.
Yeah.
Like from the trailers and shit. I just remember being like, oh, look, it's all of like Adam Sandler's friends together made a movie.
Yep.
But yeah, no, that movie's fucking hilarious. And I think it's like Doris Roberts, like one of her like last movies too.
Oh, I think she was around well along after that because she was still on Everybody Loves Raymond for quite some time.
Oh no, I just mean like I don't think she did like a whole lot of movies though.
Oh,
like,
even film, like theater film. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, our guest from last week, as noted here, Friday. I think maybe we should have tallied to see which one went out because I'm seeing a lot of repeats, which is fantastic.
There's a lot of Friday. There's I think there's been like 3 so far.
In all honesty, it is a modern classic in the genre.
Sean from Facebook, this is a Facebook comment, says Evil Bong 1 to 6 LOL JK they're awful.
If that one was any indication, then yes.
I can only imagine how bad the sequels are. Good lord. One of them is like a cross between, it's like Ginger Dead Man and Evil Bong. I'm just like, oh,
it's a versus
Lord.
movie. Yeah.
Ugh.
SFD FDI podcast.
Sci-fi double feature drive-in.
That's right. They say Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny.
Agreed.
Is that a weed movie?
Oh, yes.
I mean, it would be enhancing it for sure.
I mean, they smoke weed throughout that film.
Okay.
that was the most like fucking artsy fartsy thing. The way I could have said that. They smoke weed. They ingest the marijuana throughout
they
the
partake, of course.
Next up is from Two Nerds in a Basement, and that's at... Oh, wait. Ready for this?
Yep.
At 2 NRDSINABSMT.
Okay.
Got all that?
Got it.
Okay. Harold and Kumar are definitely up there. And you know what? Why don't you just say the next one because it's the same idea.
Seconding was the High X podcast saying the Harold and Kumar trilogy.
Yes. So I've seen the first 2.
I've seen the first one. No, I've seen the first 2, and I didn't much care for Escape from Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah, I don't remember it sticking out, but I love the first one.
The first one's great. Hilarious.
Oh, and Long Dong McHugenschlong just said Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
I don't know why. I don't. When I think of that movie, I don't think of a weed movie.
I don't know. It feels like a weed movie to me.
No, it feels like it for sure, but for just some reason, it doesn't stick out to me like that. I have to watch it again.
Yeah, as I say. Oh no, you have to rewatch Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny.
Darn.
Oh, worth it for Tim Robbins alone.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one is from Rob Hooper.
Robert Hooper.
Robert Hooper.
Hooper.
He said, since the holiday season is approaching, I have to give some love to The Night Before. That's a good one. Also, The Wash, Dazed and Confused, Half Baked, Harold and Kumar 1 to 3. Also going to go We're the Millers, just for Nick Offerman's performance alone. Knocked Up also gets a nod. Not a lot of focus on the stoner element, but it plays a role.
We should absolutely see if we can get Rob on next year for this.
However, all those movies he mentioned are actually pretty good. Like, maybe I don't know what the I don't know what The Wash is though. I've never heard of that.
I think that is Danny Masterson and...
Oh, okay. So we could just
Mekhi
spend
Phifer.
the whole episode talking about what a monster Danny Masterson is. I think he means the 1976 The Wash though. Oh wait, no, that's Car Wash. Never mind. Yeah, what's next?
This one is from at Wine for Two podcast, Jennifer and Patrick. They say Super Troopers, where they got pulled over, of course, but definitely Pineapple
Super
Express.
Troopers. Jason McLeod also says Super Troopers. Yeah, that's definitely a weed movie. I've never been a big fan, honestly.
Really? I enjoyed it quite a bit. I haven't seen the second one yet, but...
the second one's worse.
So you mean better?
No. It's just like, I don't know, all the jokes in the second one feel like they were written at the same time when the first one was made. They feel very, like, dated and, like, cliche. Like, just I've heard them, like, a million times. I don't know.
Broken Lizard's calling you right now to reef you out.
Deny the call, please. Because they always call me collect.
Okay.
I'm not paying for the charges.
That's done.
Okay, good. Fuck
Decline
them.
the call. Yep.
I'm trying to think if I even like any of their movies. Maybe Beer Fest a little bit, but I don't really care for much of their stuff.
Club Dead was alright.
Club Dread?
Dread, sorry.
I like that title better, though.
Yeah. From the @4 Frodo pod. So that's the 4 Frodo podcast. So I guess they just talk about living in the sides of hills and having hairy feet.
Yep, and not about Frodo.
Not at all. Well, being a hobbit in general. You have to be high to enjoy it, but guilty pleasure. And they sent us a gif of Idle Hands, which a pretty solid pick.
But one that could come up at some point.
Yeah.
And then our last one here we've got from Lindsay on Facebook, who says, I don't know why she just left this in, but she says, The Basketball Diaries. Wait, no. Dazed and Confused.
Basketball Diaries is about heroin.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember what that movie was about. Oh, yeah, because it was about that guy who, what the hell's his name? Jim something. Jim Carroll, because he wrote that song, Those Are People Who Died. You know what I'm talking about? No?
Yep. I know that song.
Yeah, I remember I first heard it when at the end of the Dawn of the Dead remake. Yeah, we're all my friends and they died. This episode is their most expensive yet. But, Nathan.
Yes, bud.
After that discussion of weed movies.
See what I did there?
Yeah, I did. That's my joint. You have another pick coming up next week.
I do.
And it's November, so I have an inkling of what we're doing. But why don't you remind the folks what your clue was again?
Okay. Well, everybody knew, obviously, because it's November, that it would be my favorite kaiju.
Godzilla.
So yeah, fuck you. My clue was, we are many, which is leading to this. Yeah, so that means Gamera, Advent of Legion or Attack of Legion, depending on which subtitle translation you read. But it's the second in the modern series, so it would be the sequel to the first Gamera movie that we did.
Oh, Guardian of the Universe?
Guardian of the Universe, yeah.
So it is called Gamera...
Advent of Legion or Attack of Legion, depending on the subtitle you find. But
alright, guys.
Yeah.
Search that up.
Yeah, do it, because you'll be doing yourself a favor, because Gamera, again, Guardian of the Universe, friend of all children.
Eater of lost women, right?
What?
What? That's a lot. That's part of it.
What?
Eater of lost women, prefers cream cheese on an everything bagel. Am I hitting all the major points here of Gamera?
Well, he does enjoy cream cheese on a bagel, I'm not going to lie there.
I mean, is there anyone that doesn't?
Right, exactly. Filthy commies, actually.
I enjoy your life philosophy where if someone does not agree with you, they are a communist.
Absolutely.
It convinces me that you are Senator McCarthy.
It will name names.
Welcome to the blacklist. I mean hearings.
Now, Arthur Miller is writing something over there in the corner, but I don't know what it is.
Cruz. I can't read that.
I think it's Russian. He's a communist too.
Put him in the gulag.
He goes on the list. There we go. Wrestling reference.
I think Chris Jericho is Senator McCarthy.
be the funniest portrayal of Senator McCarthy I'd ever seen.
That would be amazing. I want that movie to happen, but everything else to be like serious, like a serious drama. But anytime he accuses someone of being a communist, he just says,
"Stupid idiot!
You just made the list." And then it goes right back to like serious, like gut wrenching,
solemn drama. Yeah. All right,
make it happen, Hollywood.
So now that we've made our pitch,
yeah, we should pitch our own. I was gonna say tent, but we shouldn't pitch our tent. We should pitch our own podcast, though. We should
right.
Plug our stuff.
Plug it. There you go.
So what do you got? What do you got for us?
Well, as usual, our good buddy Montrose Monkington III at Montrose the Third RD, or the number 3 RD rather, on Twitter. Montrose Monkington TV on YouTube, or you can also check him out, Montrose Monkington III Esquire and Friends on Facebook. He's been a little quiet lately because I've been off doing the whole Glengarry Glen Ross thing, but now with that out of my system, he may be back to posting with a little more regularity.
Okay. I thought you were going to say he was gone because he was like baked out of his mind or something.
That's terribly un-British.
Oh, sorry. He was indisposed.
Well, if Cecil and his buddy are from last week are any indication. Oh, Reginald!
Wait, you did the impression of him pretty good there.
I know, right?
It's almost like you were him. Wait a second.
What? That was Cecil. That was my impression of Cecil.
You him? Okay,
no,
but that wasn't you,
that's
though.
That's foolish. Right.
Okay, you scared me.
But no. Okay.
Okay.
Let's plug our podcast.
Yeah, just listen to it, guys. No. So obviously you're listening to us right now. This is What Were They Thinking? This is a podcast you're listening to on your podcatcher. But if you want to listen to it on any other podcatcher, we're also
or
available.
If you want to send us stuff.
Yeah. Well, let me do the podcatchers first.
Okay.
Okay? I got
All
this.
right. Fine.
You can also listen to us on iTunes / Apple Podcasts, whatever the fuck they're calling it now. Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, obviously. All that good stuff. Anywhere you want to use a podcatcher, we're probably on there. And you can follow us on Twitter at WWTT Podcast. Also the same thing on Instagram, WWTT Podcast. You can find us on Facebook. Just search for What Were They Thinking. You can join our Facebook group, What Were They Thinking Interactive, where you can tell us about all the, you can tell us your favorite weed movies, or maybe you don't like weed, maybe you're mad at us, maybe you're mad at Canada, maybe you want to move to Canada and you need help, you need instructions, you need driving instructions to get there.
Here's the thing. if you're mad at Canada for this whole legalization thing, all we're gonna say is, "Oh, sorry about that, eh?"
That's right. We'll apologize profusely.
We'll apologize for. We're not changing our ways for you,
No.
but we'll apologize that you feel that way.
Oh no, we're not changing our ways. So sorry.
Yep.
And also we have a Patreon page, which, some wonderful people have signed up for so far, which you can go to patreon.com/WWTT podcast and sign up and give us a hand if you want. And you get lots of stuff in return, so it's a pretty good deal.
It's not a one-sided thing. It's a little give and take, You want to tell us what movie to watch? There's your route. Stop it, Dave Moss!
No! I'm saying Glengarry was coming back there. It has never left your system, Nathan.
It will.
And, redbubble.com/people/WWTT podcast. Got some stuff on there, too, so check that out. And
want your very own Kisser to Keister t-shirt?
Yes.
We can hook you up.
You can have a Kisser to Keister on your coffee mug if you want to.
There you go.
That's what I want to see first thing in the morning.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. But I think that's it. So
I think that's about it, yep.
I guess, Nathan, do you have anything to ask me?
Why is your voice getting so high?
Do you have anything to ask me?
You have to swing them forward and then sit down, Brendan.
Oh, sorry. Okay,
there you go. Don't sit on your nuts. Anything to ask you? Well, I would have to say, it's October, and it's easily one of my favorite months of the year simply because of Halloween.
Oh, I mean, it's November 1st, and Halloween was yesterday, but yes, go on.
I know. You get what I'm getting at.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So, in a month that should be dedicated to all kinds of things scary and horrific, and given the fact that we had been kind of promised that this whole legalization thing would have happened back in July, but didn't, my question is really not so much for you, but it's more for our federal government. Making us wait an extra 3 months and then sticking it on a Wednesday in the middle of October? What were they thinking? Legalize medical cocaine. Test 1, 2, 3. Test. This is a test for the mini-sode. Mini-soda. Minnesota.
Minneapolis, Minnesota. Minnesota is where they filmed Fargo.
Minneapolis in a Minnesota.
Can I have a mini soda?
It's not. It's a little. No, it's just a mini soda. It's smaller than a small. But a little bit smaller than a big kid size.
It's like when you get a blizzard and you just want a mini one.
Yeah.
What the fuck are we talking about?
Minnesota.
All right.
So I was out with this girl the other night, and she said that she hated Star Wars. Can you believe that?
I could top that. My latest date told me he didn't like black and white movies.
What?
Do you have a movie deal breaker? Is there a film you love so much that if your significant other didn't like it, it would be Splitsville?
Well, we're dating hosts Greg and Lauren, and in our podcast, Movie Date Night, we introduce each other to our favorite movies and see if our relationship can survive. And if our partners appreciate the movies as much as we do.
Find us wherever podcasts are available and follow us at Movie Date Night on Facebook or Twitter to talk movies with us.
Was A Quiet Place inspired by Signs, It Comes at Night, and War for the Planet of the Apes? Was Ready Player One influenced by Avatar, Wreck-It Ralph, and The Last Starfighter? Is The Hurricane Heist more influenced by Sharknado or Geostorm? These are the kinds of questions my guest co-hosts and I discuss on my podcast, Piecing It Together. Every week we look at a new movie and try to figure out what other movies inspired it. Whether it's the story, the character development, tone, or even use of music. Every movie was influenced by something that came before, and we want to figure out what. Check out Piecing It Together on your favorite podcast app or check us out on piecingpod.com. You can also follow us on social media at piecingpod. Piecing It Together is a part of the All Points West podcast network.
Hey everyone, it's Chris and Mike from The Recasting Couch, the podcast where we take our favorite movies and discuss what they would be like with new actors in all the lead roles. Hey Mike, tell them where they can find us on social media.
You can find our website at therecastingcouch.com or on Twitter at recastingpod. And of course, you can listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Android, or anywhere else you find your favorite podcasts.
Yeah, if there's a service that's not posting our pod, you let us know and we will rectify that immediately.
Damn right.
Thanks for listening, everybody.